Here it is. Guys, I've somehow managed to get the brand new Xbox Series X, the new console coming out in a year from now. I've somehow got my hands on it early. Look at this beast. Like, for real, look at this thing. It's a lot sleeker than I first imagined, a lot smaller. It's actually not that big. Like, look, it's only like 8 controllers wide. That's not bad. Like, it's pretty good. I think so. It's got a bit of a chip up here. I don't know what happened here exactly, but this is just a prototype model. It's still a year away from release, so take that into account. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, so this thing is huge. How do you even power this thing? Obviously, it uses electricity, but how do you turn it on? Well, let me get right up near it. So the tagline they're going for is "Power My Dreams." So I almost said it, but I didn't complete the saying. So if you remember, Xbox One originally had voice activated. This is called whisper activation. So you have to get up real close and touch it. Power my dreams, Xbox. And now we're just waiting for it to power on. There it goes. Look at that. Look at that. 60 hertz, 4K. Oh, it's powering my dreams. Wait. Hold on. I think this is just because it's a beta. It should say Xbox Series X, not One. Ignore that. This is still an early prototype build of the console. You can see it's almost as big as my TV, which is a 55-inch television, 4K. It is definitely not the subwoofer for my soundbar. I don't know why this is stuck on the screen right now, but I'm getting a little bit worried because I thought I had myself an early Xbox console for the next generation, the new next-gen Xbox. But oh, here we go. It's signing me in, Champ Chong. There we go. Look at that. It's still got my avatar from last generation, which is good to know. And yeah, look at that. Very similar to the old layout. I think this is just temporary, so ignore this. This is all very, very early stuff. But here it is. Definitely not the new. Okay, I give up. Obviously, this is just a big joke, but yeah, the new Xbox is out. It's gonna not look this big, but we are gonna do some measurements and whatnot to kind of just take a look at what it would be like to actually have one of these in your living room. Obviously, it's not gonna be this big, so yeah, scrap that. This is my sub for the sound bar, and I don't usually have it there because that is just ridiculous. But we're gonna test if it's actually gonna fit under here in a regular size little slot for your entertainment unit. I have a Nintendo 64 down there just for reference, and yeah, let's test this measurements and stuff out. But first, if you are actually excited for the next generation of consoles, please smack that like button real good on this video and let me know your impressions of this new Xbox in the comments down below. Obviously not my subwoofer, but the actual Xbox. By the way, I did make a video earlier today with all the details, including gameplay details, hardware, performance, all that stuff directly from Microsoft themselves. I've linked that in the description down below, and there may be a tag up on the video or at the end of the video letting you guys know to go to that video. But we've got a lot to talk about with this new Xbox, with the new Xbox One, oh no, sorry, the Xbox Series X. It's a terrible name in my opinion. The console design, it's okay. It's not as bad as people are making it out to be. It's not the greatest they could have come up with, but there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, don't worry, it will not be the size of this thing. It's not gonna be this massive. As I said, we are gonna measure it. If you do take a look at the images, it does look like it's about 2 controllers wide. Roughly, and then like, or maybe a controller wide I should say, and 2 controllers tall. So I'm gonna kind of measure that and sort of get an idea of what the console could be like. Let me actually really quickly just move this out of the way. This better not fall, otherwise I'm gonna be really sad and upset with myself. But there we go, I just got that on the floor. It's actually pretty heavy. So I'm gonna grab this, which is the Xbox One X Scorpio edition, the Project Scorpio edition. Now, if you take a look at an image side by side right here of the console itself, the new one, the Series X, Now it kind of actually looks like it's about half the thickness of this, because if you take that controller, it is about half that thickness, but as if you've kind of folded this, so it may actually cover the same amount or similar surface area as this console right here, which is like a slimmer Xbox, one of the newer ones, but in a way it's been folded in on itself, so it's kind of like they just chopped it in half and then placed this back half on the side here in a really weird way, but also at the same time just a little bit thicker, because if you put an Xbox 360 controller, this is actually a day one controller, this is really old and doesn't even work really anymore, but if you put this here, it kind of ends up being similar to what we see with it sort of side on, but like double the thickness, but then the back isn't as thick. So let's measure this and see if that new console is actually going to fit into one of these slots just from the pictures that we've seen so far and the videos and whatnot. But this isn't 100% accurate, so please don't take this as fact just yet. Alrighty, so here is the controller up close and personal. This is a really old and dirty controller. I probably should have used something else and a little bit cleaner, but whatever. So here is the tape measure. It is upside down, I apologize, but the thickness of this controller seems to be about, or the width I should say, is about the same size as I can't say that on YouTube, but let's call it 7 inches, okay? That's roughly the average size, right? Anyway, so we've also got the size from the top to the bottom at about 5 inches, so essentially what we're looking for is 14 by 10 inches, which is about 18 centimeters, or I should say 36 centimeters at its biggest. But that's what we're going to do down here. So we're going to see if a new Xbox Next Gen console can actually fit under here, where you'd normally put a console of any kind. There's a 64 down there with the game in it, and it actually fits. So that's quite big. But let's see how this goes. Okay, so this will be roughly the tallest point of an Xbox. So if I was to remove this middle shelf, which actually... God. Shit. Okay, sorry about that. So if I was actually to remove it, which it can, the new Xbox actually wouldn't fit in here at its tallest height, according to the sort of really dodgy measurements we just did. But if we actually go this way, it'll fit. It'll actually be quite, let's see, quite similar in height, just a little bit taller than the Xbox One. So that's a really rough estimate, but it's a little bit taller just by what we've sort of seen so far. Now, these aren't official. Please don't go after me on this. This is just kind of a fun video. It's me being excited about a new console. Now, the other side was about 5 inches. So let's see. No, sorry, it was 10, I believe. I think so. And that's where the problem lies. I think it's, I don't know. No, it was 5? This is terrible. This is an awful video. Well, this is probably the size of most of you guys, but not me. Anyway, that would just fit. You can see it there. It's just gonna fit in there, but it's gonna be a very tight squeeze. That's pretty good for a 5-inch tight squeeze right there. But yeah, you got that. So you can see it's gonna kind of fit. Let me grab another controller. So it was about that, but multiple of these, which it would just fit. So yeah, this is really accurate, as you can tell, and I did my best job, but it looks like you may have trouble actually putting it horizontally in there, which is your only option if you want to put it in there. But they did say you can do that if you want. It just depends on your unit size that you've got on your TV. This is actually quite a spacious one. It's pretty big. That's what they tell me. But anyway, yeah, this is the Xbox One over here, which is a lot smaller. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all does play in. Also, holy crap, I am sweating because it's like 39 degrees Celsius here in Perth, Australia today. And I shouldn't have worn a grey shirt because, oh, it's actually not too bad. This is the most random video ever. Now you're probably also wondering, how do you even turn this thing on? What's the deal? Well, it's actually quite simple. Let me just get into frame. So all you have to do, with the last Xbox One, when it came out, it was voice activated. This one's similar, but it's whisper activated. You have to get really up close to it and be like, Xbox